Live to tape from the Villaggio Cinema in Tampa, Florida, this is Nerd Wars.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Nerd Wars. In this episode, we will be doing, in honor of Bohemian Rhapsody, the Freddie Mercury biopic, which Rami Malek is getting rave reviews for. Fantastic performance. We wanted to beg the question, what fictional character deserves its own musical biopic? And Gil here and Shannon have both prepared some pitches, and you've brought team members to help you. Gil, let's hear, what is your fictional character?
I chose Alf.
Alf,
yes.
From Melmac.
Yes, from Melmac.
Oh, I love Alf. Remember that show? All right, you're going to be doing Alf the musical. And Shannon, who are you going to be doing?
Gandalf.
All right, we have Middle-earth versus Melmac. Let's do this. Gil, start us off.
So I think this is probably the best time for this type of production to be made, because in these trying times, we need an example of a man who, let's be honest, came here illegally. He's literally an illegal alien. He came here, held up with some family. He's way, way more advanced than any of us are, but we still have him doing menial chores. He sits there and basically sits all day and inspires the children and the people around him. And they, in turn, actually inspire and train him, because he doesn't really know our culture very well. And I feel as if that's kind of a good story for us all to really get a hold of and understand in these trying times.
All right, let's hear about Gandalf. Shannon?
Gandalf. Well, I wanted to set this as a Broadway musical. So the opening act, we're in the Shire. And the song's called Welcome to the Shire. So you have bright, beautiful colors. You have dances and flips of all the hobbits just celebrating a holiday. Gets you really, really amped up. It's a fast, upbeat number just to really introduce the chorus, which leads us into a very old-looking Nathan Lane who's playing Sam. And Sam is talking to a bunch of hobbits, telling the story of Frodo and Gandalf and what happened earlier, which cuts back to the past, where we have Ian I can't say the original name. McKellen, who played the original Gandalf in all the movies, and he was an angelic figure. So in all musicals, they have that inspirational song like Corner of the Sky in Pippin and Part of Your World in Ariel, and they just have this like this song like I want to be like you. So then he meets the 5 wizards. He becomes part of that. He becomes Gandalf the Grey. Then you have a rivalry with Saruman and Gandalf. So you have that upbeat song with them together, and maybe some romantic tension that can't be said but that isn't said. And so then we'll go from there, talk about Old War, how it started, how the rings are meant to be there. It closes off Act 1 with making sure that Baggins has the ring, closes. Act 2 opens up with Frodo, the parade, all that, back to the Shire, keeps it with the themes. We continue on. You have this epic battle and a song of Gandalf going, "You shall not pass," and then you have all these pyrotechnics with the demon, and the lights go off, and the people in the theater are like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And you build it from there. It's all from Gandalf's perspective, even from him escaping the cage. And then near the climax, you just have this song of the Valkyrie, like, boom, 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 of the eagles taking flight near the climax of the song, and you're like, what? You could even have things coming from the stage, from the balcony, of actors just going down, like, woo, woo, and you're like, what? And it's just, I don't know. I think production value, it has a lot to offer. And Gandalf has a lot of stories to bring. He's that typical hero where he wants to be like the humans.
It's the longest fucking play in history.
That is a really long introduction.
We're gonna need like 15 fucking introductions.
Dude, the new Harry Potter play is like 8 hours. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck me.
All right, but sorry they interrupted you so rudely. Did you get it out of there, Shannon?
Pretty much like near the climax would be the eagles, all of that. He's Gandalf the White, goes back to Nathan Lane, the old Sam, and that's they never show up to the end.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles come and they take everyone home.
They don't come to the end.
Eagles? All right,
but
I'm in now.
Nathan Lane, you have Nathan Lane, who's a Broadway legend. You bring back Ian. He's the original. You have Patrick Stewart.
He's not dead.
You have Patrick Stewart playing Saruman in the play. You have Idina Menzel as one of the.
Jesus himself coming down as
like
You have
Broadway All-Stars.
You have Idina Menzel playing the elf, the female elf in it. You just have a strong cast. It would just be so good. It just makes me think of Wicked. It makes me think of Twisted. It makes me think of tons of.
All right, great. I do want to give Gil a chance to pitch.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Gil.
Sorry,
how are you gonna top that?
I mean, I fell asleep a little bit halfway through. I got to be honest.
It's like me and The Hobbit.
I know, right? Fuck. It's almost like they weren't that good of a film.
Oh, but that sounded better than go ahead. But anyway, I'd rather watch that than the movies. Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem with that is Ian McKellen is not going to fucking do the same character again and again and again. He's already done it for how many films? He wants to move on. He's an old man. He only's got so much life to live.
But it's Broadway. It's on stage.
He can do that without actually doing Lord of the Rings. Why would he want to do the same
Well,
shit
instead
over
of
again?
focusing on why he wouldn't focus
All right,
on what Alf would do.
Don't pull an Andrew. Come on, let him talk.
You're just trying to bring it back to what's on us.
I'm just saying.
It's
Talk
called
about
the
your
debate.
pitch.
Talk about your play. Talk about your
If you're
play.
gonna knock them down, they're gonna hit you. If you want them to shut up, give me your pitch.
Okay. Honestly, I imagine it kind of like a quasi, more upbeat, inspirational, but also dirtier Hamilton, where the majority of it is actually rapped, and you get to see a little puppet actually rap. Those little kids fucking rap. I kind of liked Hamilton, but I don't want to see another white guy rap.
So would it be similar to Avenue Q?
No, because it would be Alf. There would still be normal people, and it would be set in the Alf universe, but not Avenue Q.
No,
He's
I'm
not
saying
gonna
like the
curse.
productions and stuff would it be
He's
similar?
not cursing. He's just okay. Well, so what is it? Do you have She gave me a bunch of songs. Do you have any songs?
The very first one is, we all know that he's a big fan of cats, so of
Yes.
course,
He
the
eats
very
cats.
first rap would be "I Want to Eat Your Pussycat." I feel as if that would be both appropriate and a little bit risky.
Is there like a little innuendo and people are confused?
I mean, come on, obviously.
Okay.
They're not confused. They know what's going on.
Okay, but
He's
nothing
very
explicit. It's clearly
No.
all about felines.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
There's cats everywhere.
Okay.
Literally
I
cats.
eat your pussycat. Yeah.
Is it guitar driven?
It's a little bit of an orchestra.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
The second one for me would be E.T.'s a cuck. And E.T. was actually in that universe.
So you're gonna bring in other aliens from other
No,
fictional
actually,
planets.
E.T. was in the very first episode. She said specifically, E.T. E.T. was. I don't want E.T. Or I'm sorry, that's not E.T. because this one's actually on my
Wait, Alf said that?
no, the mother.
Yeah, but she was just talking about the movie.
I know what I'm saying. He's already in that universe. They already have
Okay.
references. Of
They're just talking about the movie.
And
Okay.
he's gonna get offended that there's another fucking lovable little alien dude running around.
Okay,
No,
we have
he's in
E.T.'s a
the
cuck,
TV.
and
but he
I
still
want to
doesn't
eat
like 'em.
pussycats. Any other songs you're pitching me?
No, I think that's good for me.
Okay.
Also something about Lucky because the cat's name was Lucky, so the Daft Punk song, Lucky.
Oh,
but he
wow.
can do a version instead where
Alf
he's
singing
singing
Daft
about,
Punk's Lucky?
You know,
Oh my God.
singing about
Was
the
there
cat.
singing in that song?
A little bit.
I don't
It's a
remember.
Daft Punk
He
song.
mumbles
There's
the
a little
li-
bit. Yeah,
he mumbles the
it's
lyrics.
lyrics. It fits still.
I mean, there's a few, but there's
I'm just saying.
Will there be any Booyah baseball cards?
He's up all night to eat Lucky.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
up
Oh,
all
that's
night
right.
to eat Lucky. There it goes. All right.
Will there be any Booyah baseball?
I feel as if that's going to be something that's given out beforehand. That's the very first thing that the
Okay.
very first people. That come
I
out.
know my Alf. Okay, I'm a little disappointed. I needed a little bit more deep cuts from Alf, but
Sorry, I didn't expect a 13-minute diatribe.
He's not saying it. Come on.
I love musicals. I love musicals.
One more time.
all right. So what about Hamilton with Alf? You got to
I mean,
take that down.
I see the theme with Hamilton and the rap and everything, but everyone loves Lord of the Rings. You have the audience that would go to see it, especially if the star power actually showed up, and you get to see what Gandalf was doing through that entire movie. It's his
so you're gonna make it up?
perspective.
So it's a prequel. No one wants to see prequels. We know prequels.
It's a prequel to the prequel of
Wicked,
Lord of the Rings.
Wicked was hold on. Wicked was the story of the witch.
Yeah.
So it's everything that happened with her that we never saw.
But it is Hobbit the musical.
no, it's
It's pre-Hobbit. musical.
no,
That's
it's
what it
it's
sounds
it's not Silmarillion. Okay, we're
Okay,
not
it's
doing
not
Silmarillion.
Silmarillion, okay.
No, we're not.
I
No,
would
no.
actually
Okay.
watch that one.
We're explaining everything that Gandalf. No, to be fair, this would have to pull in some writers that we don't know who they
Yeah, who would
are
fuck up
to
the story.
figure out what the fuck Gandalf was doing when he wasn't in the movies. Okay, we haven't figured that part out yet.
Prequels by definition.
the writers
are
would
like,
come
eh,
figure
It's
that
not a prequel. It's a ride along.
Okay.
It's a ride along.
Right
Do we
on.
see a young Gandalf, or is he always
No,
a old
it's
wizard?
the
old
same-
because he's an angel. He becomes a human when he joins the 5 tribes, and that's why.
I don't
Which is
know my
why
Lord
you
of the
have that song with the part of your world. Yeah, I read on Wikipedia
Yeah.
his whole thing
Wikipedia.
before.
If it's on Wikipedia, it's true.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Or if you were the
I'm just saying. I read the whole thing on his thing, like how would I do it and how would I stage it, and how Broadway would typically do their beats and stuff like that. He
You didn't have time to read the whole Hobbit, Shannon,
felt
in
like
10
you did.
minutes?
Here's the thing.
No,
Felt like I just heard
I
the whole
didn't.
Hobbit.
I can
I'm
research.
just kidding.
but
I'm just
only-
pointing out she
Here's the
didn't.
thing.
Don't call her out for not bringing a week. She literally had 10 minutes to prep this.
Wait. Oh, you want to go? No, but
Well,
here's the thing,
let
real
me
quick.
let me let you go. Kanye, please.
Wait, I have one sentence. Just real quick though. Like,
He's like, let me let you go.
That's
Well, wait.
I got one sentence.
it's
By all
like,
means.
your
Quickly.
pitch is cool and everything, but it sounds
But-
much like I've seen Spider-Man on Broadway. It sounds like Harry Potter in a way.
Did you really see Spider-Man in the Dark on Broadway?
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom's cool. So anyway, it doesn't matter who died. What matters is that it's been done before. Whereas his pitch with Alf is something that's brand new,
But
something
you're saying
exciting.
it's Hamilton, so it has been done
Yeah,
before.
no,
it's
it can
theme.
still
What's the
have
theme?
the tone of Hamilton, but what you're saying sounds very much like what I've already seen before. And who wants to do that?
All right.
So, here's the thing. You talked about how long the musical is going to be. On the average musical is about like 2.5 hours long. If you include an intermission, maybe a little bit longer. I've seen In the Heights. I've seen Evil Dead the musical, and like in that one, fantastic because it covers all the Evil Dead movies and wraps them all up into a musical. That can still be done here. The explanation, she was
Ooh,
very
so wait, you're
detailed.
telling me you can do all the dumb Hobbit, but put it in one thing.
Yes, it's a musical.
Just
You
like it should've been
condense,
done
you
to begin
focus
with.
on the highlights and the parts, but you still bring the story in, and
All
that
right,
can
well,
be
that's
done.
a good, that you just solved a lot of problems there. Okay.
Exactly. And with Alf, how you described it, it sounds like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to actually ask the question. What is the history of Alf that we're seeing?
So
we're just
we
watching
still-
the pilot,
We don't know what happens to him.
right? But you told me he crash lands and trying to eat pussycats, and then he's
after-
talking about ET. But what else?
When the men come and pick him up, when the men in black, just like the government people, are going to come get me and him, we don't know what happens. The entire
So this
family
will
is set-
follow through that.
It's from when he arrives.
Because Alf left on a cliffhanger where he was taken,
Exactly, and now we can actually get that resolution that we all need,
which
This
they
isn't
did
like
do
who
in
shot-
Project Alf
Yeah, but
with Martin Sheen.
yeah, the lovely Martin Sheen. He
So
can come
is
back,
it?
why
Are
not?
we adapting that, or you're going a different direction?
I would like to go
Are
a
we
different
retconning Project Alf?
I wouldn't. Well, I don't know if
Is
we wanna-
Willie Tanner coming back? Are they all coming back?
You know Alf.
He's an old
know
man.
Alf.
What do you
Fucking
expect?
know Alf. God damn.
You know Alf.
That is impressive.
He's the host. He needs to know his
I'm
subject.
challenging him because I'm not going to let you play a thing I like. You better know your shit. You better
wanna
look
see
up on a
it.
Wikipedia page at least.
Alf. Fuck.
I want to see the modern day retelling because it does translate into the reality of the situation, which basically the government people came for an illegal alien. It's fucking ICE all over again, but instead it's aliens from outer space and Men in Black.
All right.
It's relevant in the modern day context.
Look, I love the.
Where's Alf's babies?
We're done. I'm out of time because I loved the pitch of Alf, but man, Gil, you just didn't. You disappointed me. You didn't bring enough to the table.
Can I say
and
one sentence?
No, because you just won the points.
Don't burn
Just
it.
let it go.
I know I
You
wanna
might
burn
lose a
it.
point if you say no.
I can
Because
say
as
no.
much as I hate The Hobbit and I like Lord of the Rings, but I hate The Hobbit so much, you at least made me sound like, all right, well, we're going to morph it together, do something a little interesting, and then, well, yeah, this is going to be a 10-minute musical version of the pilot, and E.T.'s a cuck. I mean, come on, Gil. There's so much Alf
true.
you didn't
It's true. He does
exploit.
nothing.
Give me the history of Alf, and I would have taken me to Melmac and tell me about Gordon Shumway. Come on. That is a Hamilton. I mean, you're doing a Hamilton version of Alf, and you didn't even bring up Gordon Shumway, which is his real name. I'm just disappointed. It should have been called Shumway, and then it would be even more. So I was just disappointed as an Alf fan. I would be very let down by your pitch. So I got to give you guys a point. Bravo. A biopic of Gandalf. I guess we're going to see it.
Bastard.
That's what we're going to see. What musical biopic do you guys want to see? Tell us below in the comments and tell us about what. Give us not only the biopic, but give us a song, right? Be creative and funny, and maybe we'll bring some out next time. Thank you so much for watching. More Nerd Wars are coming. Check the Nerd Wars playlist for all the Nerd Wars we do. And thank you much. Have an awesome day. Bye.